At 2 a.m., a whisper of smoke curled from the bakery on Pudding Lane. A simple spark, a careless ember, and yet it was enough. The city slept. Wooden houses, blackened by soot and time, leaned like weary travelers against each other. Cobblestones glistened faintly under moonlight. No one imagined that in hours, all this would be ash. The heat was the first thing to betray itself. A creeping warmth at first, almost comforting. Then a roar, a furnace climbing the narrow lanes. Flames danced hungrily, climbing timber walls, crawling through thatch roofs, devouring shuttered windows. Smoke rolled thick and sweet, stinging eyes and lungs, curling into the night like a living thing. The Lord Mayor heard the first alarm. A flicker, a few complaints, but he hesitated. Why? Because authority in 1666 was built on ritual, reputation, and a stubborn god complex. No need to panic, he said. The city's defenses, bucket brigades, hand pumps, even a single horse-drawn engine, stalled. Time slowed, and fire did not. By 3 a.m., the bakery was gone. Its roof collapsed, embers leaping into the air, landing on neighboring homes. Wood caught, thatched roofs ignited. The city's heart began to burn. The inferno begins. Flames spread faster than anyone could chase them. Timber and pitch, old beams and tar created a chemical frenzy. Heat radiated off walls, warping them, bending glass, igniting the city like tinder. Gunpowder became the desperate tool of firefighters. They tore down houses, hoping to create fire breaks. But the explosions were random, terrifying. One moment a street was clear, the next walls fell, sending sparks skyward, feeding the inferno. People ran, children screamed, merchants abandoned shops. The Thames reflected fire, as if the river itself had turned molten. St. Paul's Cathedral was not spared. Its lead roof began to melt. Molten metal dripped down columns, onto wooden pews, onto stone streets, setting debris alight. Heat waves radiated, bending vision. It was a city drowning in fire, sound, and the smell of scorched history. No one had seen anything like it. The fire obeyed no master. It had a mind. It sought. It devoured. The physics of destruction. Every narrow lane became a wind tunnel. The chimney stacks funneled air, feeding flames like bellows in a forge. Heat created its own storms, mini tornadoes of sparks and ash. Wood shrank and cracked. Thatch flared like a flare gun into the dark. The fire climbed walls like liquid. Windows exploded inward, glass shattering, rain of burning shards on fleeing citizens. And there was sound, roaring timber, cracking beams, the frantic cries of families, metal bending, church bells clanging. Smoke was a predator. It chased, blinded, suffocated. Even those who thought themselves safe found themselves crawling on hands and knees, gasping for air. Buckets of water were futile. They hissed on flames. Steam rose, condensing into acidic mist. Yet desperation did not falter. Men grabbed ropes, ladders, and axes. They hurled barrels of water, tore down walls, tried to cut fire's path. But fire moves faster than fear. Entire blocks became unrecognizable, blackened skeletons of homes, glimpses of furniture burning inside. The smell of baking bread, scorched wood, and melted metal mixed into a single, unforgettable horror. Night turned into a hallucination of color. Orange, red, yellow, black. The stars above obscured by smoke. The moon dimmed as though ashamed. People climbed onto rooftops. They leaped into the Thames. Some held children. Some fought the flames. And everywhere, the fire whispered a promise. It takes everything. desperation and chaos. Authorities ordered houses to be blown up to stop the spread. Explosions roared through narrow alleys. Flames leapt higher. People screamed. Dogs ran wild. The fire was alive. It breathed. It consumed. Every misstep fed it. Every delay was its feast. Smoke turned day into night. Soot coated faces. Ash fell like snow, black, heavy, choking. Merchants threw coins into the river. Documents burned. Jewelers' gold glimmered briefly before the flames swallowed it. By dawn, the city was a labyrinth of burning ruins. Time itself seemed suspended. Fire dominated it all. The river became a mirror of destruction. Boats were scorched, cargo ignited. Even the bridges trembled under heat. The human toll.
Thank you kindly, Master.
People clung to life. They carried infants, old parents, blankets, anything. Crowds surged through streets that no longer existed. Some tried to fight, some to flee. Some watched neighbors burn, powerless. Fear became collective consciousness. The fire dictated every heartbeat, every step, every breath. And above it all, the city's leaders hesitated. No one dared take the first step into total chaos. By mid-morning, the fire had reached its zenith. Nothing could stop it. Buildings fell like dominoes. Streets disappeared. London had become an inferno. The peak of the inferno. Stopping point. The Great Fire of London in 1666 was unstoppable. It consumed 13,200 houses, 87 churches, hundreds of warehouses. The city was a furnace. The Thames was the only reflection of sanity. The fire had rewritten the landscape. And yet, this was only the beginning. It would take weeks to die. Cities rebuild. Stories are told. Legends are born. The smoke hadn't even cleared, and London was already hunting for someone to blame. Whispers turned to shouts. Foreigners, Catholics, Jews. The scapegoats of fear. Robert Hubert, a Frenchman, was seized in the chaos. He confessed, eager, trembling, perhaps coerced. His story? Absurd, impossible. A single man had started the inferno? But the crowd didn't care. They demanded justice. Hubert was hanged. A citywide exhale of relief. That solved nothing. The true villains were not foreign bakers, not negligent officials. The fire itself was neutral, indiscriminate. And yet, the mob needed faces. People must see guilt. Every rumor fanned the flames of panic further. Printed pamphlets, hand-scrawled notices, even sermons blamed outsiders. Each accusation a desperate attempt to control the uncontrollable. Merchants railed against the city authorities. Merchants who had lost everything. But authority was powerless. The fire had erased their power. Bodies were found in the ashes, some clutching coins. Families were divided. Animals perished, their cries swallowed by the roar. London had become a crucible of fear, grief, and rage. And in the chaos, opportunity whispered. The rebuild, a blank canvas for power. Christopher Wren looked at the ruins. Stone foundations melted in the heat, timber frames turned to ash. But Wren didn't see destruction. He saw possibility. The king saw it too. The fire had leveled taxes, debts, and neighborhoods alike. The city was a blank canvas. Wren's plans were audacious. Wide streets, fireproof homes, stone and brick replacing timber, squares to organize commerce, churches redesigned. The skeleton of St. Paul's rebuilt, taller, grander, untouchable by flame. Insurance companies emerged from the ashes. For the first time, risk became calculable. The concept of modern property insurance, fire brigades, and regulated urban planning were born. The king used the opportunity to consolidate power. Lands were reassigned, permissions issued, trade routes formalized. The city's bureaucracy grew. Every brick, every street was a testament to authority reinforced through disaster. Yet it wasn't just order that arose, it was capitalism. Markets restructured. Merchants who survived were richer than before, able to leverage insurance payouts and rebuilt infrastructure. Every modern financial institution, London's Exchange, Lloyd's Coffee House, the first joint stock ventures, found footing in the fire's ashes. The chaos became currency. Even ordinary citizens were changed. Neighborhoods rebuilt stronger, housing codes implemented, fire breaks incorporated into design, lessons written in stone, brick, and human memory. The philosophical conclusion: disaster is the architect of progress. The Great Fire of London didn't just destroy, it transformed. The city we walk today, the streets, the skyline, they are products of flames and human will. Every modern metropolis, Chicago, Tokyo, San Francisco, carries this DNA. They are built on the bones of what burned before. Ash becomes foundation. Smoke becomes law. Chaos becomes order. And the lesson is unsettling. Cities, finance, power, they all thrive on destruction, opportunity, and the control of perception. The fire was never just heat and timber. It was a mirror. It reflected human ambition, folly, greed, and ingenuity. We obsess over causes, fires, sparks, negligence, but miss the truth. History favors the prepared, the opportunistic, the ones who can see possibility in catastrophe.
How much for this silk?
London's streets, its bridges, its markets, its very institutions were forged not by luck or divine favor. They were forged by fire, fear, and a calculated human hand.
Almost there.
So next time you walk the city of London, look at the skyline, the towering spires, the uniform streets, and remember, every brick tells a story. Every canal reflects choices made in panic. Every law, regulation, and financial contract echoes of a world rebuilt from ash. The Great Fire is not past. It's alive in every urban plan, every insurance policy, every city budget. We rebuild, we rise, but we are always dancing on the ashes of the last catastrophe.